How's it going, guys? It's Nathan from Nathan's DIY Garage, and today we're going to put together the BMW E36. So we're going to do this cylinder head reinstall. To refresh you guys' memory, if you haven't seen the last episodes of this car, this is a 318i, 98 318i E36. Got it here at a bad head gasket. Somebody's been there messing with it. About a year ago, I had receipts in a glove box for a head gasket. So he pulled the cylinder head off. The head bolts were pretty loose. This is a cast iron block, so they don't strip out. And basically what we're going to do, we're going to go and clean the block, clean the head, put the new gasket on, reinstall it, re-torque it, and we're going to retime the engine. Okay, so here you can see the engine block, and the bolt holes are full of oil and coolant or whatever. So that's not going to work. We're going to go ahead and take our carb cleaner. You can use any kind of carb cleaner. We're going to use a straw, and we're going to put the straw down the hole, put a rag over it, and we're going to go ahead and spray it out. And we're going to get all these bolt holes totally cleaned out. We don't want any oil or any foreign substance in there messing up our torque specs. We're going to take a piece of Brillo or Scotch-Brite, and we're going to clean this block surface. We're going to clean the head surface, and we're going to go in here. We're going to make 100% sure that these pegs are seated down correctly and nothing's sticking up and nothing's going to screw us when we go to set the head back on. Okay, guys, so what we're going to do, we're going to take this carb cleaner, and we're going to put the straw in the hole, and we're going to clean all these holes out, holding the rag over it. I want to make sure it's all out of there, it's clear. Now what you can do, you go back and take some compressed air. This stuff will dry pretty quick though, and blow all that out. Either way, it's whatever you prefer to do. You're going to want to do this before you clean the gasket surface. And at the very end, you're going to go ahead and clean this up, clean any kind of moisture off of it. To put every gasket on, whether it's a head gasket or a regular gasket, you want the surface clean and dry. You don't want any coolant, you don't want any oil to take any chance on something not seating, especially if you're going to put gasket sealer on the surface. Okay, guys, so we got the head surface clear, the block surface cleaned. It's not going to come perfectly clean, but you need to get 99% clean. We're going to go up here and look at the pins. We're going to take something, we're just going to ever so gently make sure they're tapped down in there. If you tap them very hard at all, it'll ruin them. And I can already see that this one up here is actually sticking up a little bit, and we don't want that. We don't know how far it can stick up before it's causing a problem. Okay, so there, it went down. That should be plenty far enough. Let me get you off the stand here. You can see what's going on a little better. You can see the gasket surface cleaned. It's got coolant in that hole. It's down below the surface. It's not going to cause no problem. Make sure your cylinder walls are all wiped out. Make sure everything's clean. Everything's good. There's the peg right there. There's a peg right there. And what those pegs do is when you put the head on there, it's going to give us something to hang on to so you get the bolts in. And it's going to line up the gasket right. That way you can put the gasket on the block. And we're going to go ahead and try to get the head cleaned up a little bit. And you can see here, we probably need to go and check these valves. We just don't know what in the hell somebody's done to it. So let's go ahead and do that and get the head cleaned up next. Okay, so the next step here, we're going to go ahead and put the spark plugs back in. These guys had these Bosch plugs. Don't use those. Those are junk. They tend to foul out real easy and collect stuff. I always use NGK. Well, that one's got a bunch of shit on it right there. You can see in the See, it's kind of jacked up. Will it focus or not? There you go. Kind of melted. What we're going to do for right now, they had the plugs out of it. And we're going to go and put the plugs back in. I'm going to show you how to check the valves and see if the valves need to be lapsed or what's going on with that. Okay, so what we're going to do here, guys, let me turn the mic, make sure you can hear me. We're going to go flip it upside down, make sure it's pretty level. And you can see in the first cylinder here, pick up, move you over. Okay, so in the first cylinder, all the valves are closed, right? So this is how we usually check them. We take a little bit of carburetor cleaner and we're going to go ahead and spray it in there gently. You could also use water. Carburetor cleaner is a little thinner with the spark plug in it now. You're going to check how fast it drains out of there. This one's not draining out hardly at all. You can see it evaporating a little bit. So the valves are good on that. If you get to the point where they're all closed and it leaks out real fast, then we need to take the valves out and relapse them. A lot of guys say do a valve job, but on BMWs, I never have a problem just lapsing them in. It's never caused an issue whatsoever. And sorry, spraying a big ass B of the carburetor cleaner. We're gonna go and do this in all 4 cylinders, make sure everything's good. And make sure all your spark plug holes are good. If you have a problem like that, right now is the time to fix it.